Okay, I've put this book together because I wanted to offer you a kind of a compilation of quotable quotes credited to very successful millionaire entrepreneurs, specifically in some of the developed countries, mainly America, and one or two in Africa that I just picked quotes from. So, of course, this is not exhaustive. This is just a initial, a kind of sampling. Okay, I've done, and the goal here is to encourage you to download this book. Just request a copy. The instructions are going to be provided to you in the description for the book, in the description for this video, and also at the end. But basically all you have to do is just the email address that's indicated. You send, that's lackcapital@tksola.com. You send me your full name and your WhatsApp number with the request for the book, and I'll send it to you, and then you would have access to me on a continuous, on an ongoing basis, to ask me any questions about the ideas in it, and also maybe specific examples. I can tell you stories, man. It doesn't matter what kind of fundraising you're trying to do, whether you need money to keep going, or you need money to launch out at the beginning and you're thinking of ideas, whether you want to think of preparing a business plan, feasibility study, or you just want to get some people together to fund your business for you and you're thinking how do you go about it, or you just need to raise money or get money to keep your business going. You're already in business, you're already operating, but you have a cash flow limitation. What are the ideas you can explore? Quite a number of them. But I'm not offering myself as a kind of expert on fundraising. Instead, what I'm trying to do here is to help you understand the mindset you need to have in order to ensure that you continue to have access to to continue to be able to get access to the money you need to keep going. All right, so you lack capital. Learn why that can't stop you. 16 quotes, anecdotes, and tips to guide you to success from entrepreneurs who did it. And so you are going to be reading, like I said, anecdotes. So those anecdotal references will kind of be used to help you put things in perspective. And the most of what is in there, however, is a bit of my own story. How initially when I started, so it's not my story indeed tells you that it's not about having the money, because if you start, no matter how big your business is, if you have this kind of bulk money, I had about over 600,000 naira way back in year 2003 January. So if I had that kind of money and I ended up within less than 6 months, I couldn't point to one thing I'd done. I hadn't even bought the piece of land. Okay, well, I was supposed to have had 2 plots of land, which I eventually was told somehow I lost in Lagos. But the idea of going to Ibadan was to rent a place and all of that. I never did, and I just kind of started spending the money on domestic expenses. And before I knew what was happening, I run out, because I continued with the same spending habits from my time in paid employment. So the idea is to let you know that I started with the money. I had the money, and still something happens to the brain when you have what you consider to be adequate or sufficient capital. Something happens to the way you think. You stop thinking smart. That's why the exposure to hardship as a result of the lack of money or lack of capital can be very, very beneficial. You will see some of the quotes in this PDF actually suggest that they not just suggest, they actually state that lack of capital can actually force you to grow in the ways you need to grow in order for you to truly be able to succeed. So some of the qualities you need to develop require you, first of all, to be exposed to the suffering that comes as a result of a lack of access to money or enough money. Right, so you can see I'm scrolling through different quotes. If you're watching the video, you can actually stop the video and read through all of them. However, if you want to have the PDF, then just reach out to me using the instructions I gave to you at the beginning. The goal here is to, because I know how it has helped me to have access to all these kind of quotes. They were reminders. When I was going through difficulty, I would remember that, okay, this guy, this person actually went through this, and remember he said he did this, happen to him, that happened to him. So those are the things that kept me going, and it made me feel that I could actually, they motivated me really to go ahead and try again and try again and try, because I knew somebody had told the story of how he did that or she did that, tried again and tried again and tried again. So, but apart from the quotes, I also offer, like I said, some of my stories, and I also offer excerpts from some of my articles that I've talked about getting money, raising funds, and all of that, in which I shared some of the steps that a person can follow to, in the process of trying to raise funds or get access to people that will be function as investors and partners in the business idea he or she wants to run. So the one here, you must strike and strike again and again and again, and never give up, never until you reach your destination. You've got to be unstoppable. That's right. If somebody tells you no, so what? If the door is closed in your face, so what? If things don't work the way the first time around or the second time around, so what? I called the publisher of magazine for 2 years. Every week I called him. Why? I'm unstoppable. This is Les Brown, and Les Brown's story is one of the most, how do I put it now? It's one of the stories that they're really inspirational, because among other examples he gave in many of his talks, there was one I watched, a video of him giving a talk in the Dome, I think is in Atlanta also, and he was talking about, the title was "Don't Stop Chasing Your Dream," and he shared the experience he had where at a point things were so bad for him in business that he was sleeping and bathing in on the 25th floor office in the office complex, and the owners of the building had to write him one day, and the security called him when he was trying to go in and said, "Look, this is a letter for you, can you please open it and read it here?" And he was told in the letter, "Please, this is not a hotel, please do not sleep in your office." And he had to appeal to them that, "Look, I'm going through a bad patch and I really need this break. I have to keep sleeping and working from here because things are really tough for me right now." And he said he was the same person that would then go out to give lectures or talks to people, and he will be telling them, "You can live your dream." And he knew in his own heart, as he stood there speaking to them, that right at that point in time he was behind on his own bills. Things were bad. He was sleeping and bathing in his own 25th floor office, but he knew that he had to keep believing. He said he got to a point where he was asking God, "But why me?" Now the point is, you will have to go through some of these peaks and troughs. The troughs are when you are having the challenges, the setbacks, the delays, the disappointments, all right? And you have issues with money. You need the money, maybe the bulk money, maybe a little bit of money to keep going, money to buy petrol into your car, money to pay your children's school fees, money to feed the family, money to pay your rent. It could be any kind of money, and then money, of course, to run the business. And you don't have money, maybe because you're just starting, you have not stabilized, you don't know how to get the kind of money you need. And the goal here is to first of all let you understand the kind of mindset you need to have. Okay, no follower of this philosophy can reasonably expect to accumulate a fortune without experiencing temporary defeat. When defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild those plans and set sail once more toward your coveted goal. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. That's one of the most inspiring statements I've ever read. And those words from that book, there's so many quotes I picked up from that book and literally memorized, that truly helped me through some of the darkest hours of my life as an entrepreneur. So I'm not joking around when I've compiled these quotes, not exhaustive, but the ones I've put in here, some of the ones that were most impactful in helping me deal psychologically with the challenge of not having money, or not having enough money, or looking for money and not being able to get it. I had to learn to discipline myself in the way I did my thinking. I had to adopt a mindset that attracted money, and it first of all had to do with understanding how others had dealt with it. Harvey Firestone said, "I lacked capital. Because of this, I was forced to keep down overhead and watch every expenditure. In fact, I feel if I had had all the money I wanted when I founded my present business, it would never have become as big as it is. I would have never found it necessary to make such a close study of details to promote the efficiency of the organization." This guy was the guy that started the Firestone entire company, and the thing he said here is so instructive. A lot of people don't understand that. The people who have experienced poverty tend to be very good at being prudent in management of money. It is the Yorubas have a saying, "Tani yaje ti ogbon." That's, in other words, who is it that has experienced suffering that did not become wise as a result? Man, think about it, man. The suffering you go through, except for those people who don't learn, but it gets you to a point where you are exposed to enough suffering that wisdom is naturally just forced upon you, because you are forced to think and say, look, I don't want to go through this again. So when you go through difficulty and hardship or suffering, it's actually a form of training. That's why it is said that adversity, there's a seed of equivalent benefit behind every adversity. That's what Jim Rohn said, and he said that that's why you must embrace adversity. Okay, accept that it is necessary. I think people struggle to do that, but ultimately, if you want to succeed, you need to be able to do that. And when you embrace adversity and you understand that you need to learn from adversity, then it guides you when you're going to go back into the world to try and succeed again. And when it comes to getting money, that is one aspect of life that always brings adversity, because when you don't get money, you are disappointed. When you don't have money, it causes you pain, it causes you discomfort. So you want to say, look, I want to make sure I have money today and that I know how to get money tomorrow. That is what it means to be able to get, and that's why you want to learn how to raise funds, how to make people send you money for what it is you have to offer. So what I offer here is a compilation of experiences that other people have put down in writing. Okay, I'm offering to you one body of work, and hopefully what you'll be able to do is read through it and use it to inspire yourself. But also there are steps that I've described in there about what you can do to actually go about creating opportunities for yourself to get the money you need. And like I always tell people, depending on your level of progress towards your goal as a person in business, your needs for money will also differ from that of the other person. So we don't all have the same needs. We won't all have the same needs as per money. So you need to know where you are, and therefore look for something that suits your needs at that level that you are at in terms of your need for money. You cannot go and copy what somebody else is doing, because the scale at which the person is operating may be different. Your business may have been existing for 5 years, so your need for money may have to do with cash flow needs. The other person may be looking at launching from zero, starting from the beginning, from the foundation, and so his or her needs will be different. So you need to look at that and decide. Right? If you have any questions, reach out to me using the contact details on the screen. I wish you well.